What is going on, everybody? Non here, and we are now the day after release of Black Bolt and White Flare, and I want to talk about the EV of the set. And obviously, it's inflated; it's going to come down. But back on June 27th, I put out a video just trying to predict what the price of the set is, the value of the set, etc., based on what the Japanese cards are worth. And on average, I've been tracking this since Surging Sparks, and the English and I want to say normalized, so multiple weeks after release, not after the third or fourth reprint, but 3 or 4 weeks after release, when things are normalized, there's a significant amount of packs opened, and the market tends to increase in supply. The English variety of the Japanese version tends to carry about a 2x value. Now, they're all over the place, right? So you'll have your trainers, which are a fraction of that. A lot of times your chase cards are right on that 2x. And then you'll have a lot of the lesser SIRs that tend to track a little bit higher. And then, obviously with prismatic evolutions, the evolutions were like 3x what the Japanese cards ended up being. So while each card is kind of all over the place, on average, they blend to about a 2x. So what I did here was I took the top 5 cards. I've added the Victini now that that's been confirmed. I mean, it's been confirmed for weeks now, but it wasn't as of 6/27. It was kind of a conspiracy theory at that point in time. So I've added that to the set. So if we look at the Zekrom, and I did not update the Japanese price because at this point it doesn't matter, you're at $460. Now, I would imagine this card's probably going to settle in the 350 range. The Victini, I don't know what this pull rate is. I have no idea what the pull rate is. I have a hard time watching Pokemon YouTube at this point because it's just the same shit over and over again. And with the gaslighting, I'm selling everything and going to fuck off video titles, and then they're like, no, I'm just kidding, I'm buying everything. I can't deal with it. It's idiotic. So I have no idea what the pull rates are. I haven't watched anything in a while. So if you have some idea what the pull rates are, let me know. But the fact that it's in both sets, it's probably going to end up being around a $200 card. I know it's listed at $525 now because it's a fancy unicolor, weird red looking card. So whatever. You have the Zekrom SIR, which is 300. This card is probably going to settle around 200, 225, quite honestly. Ends Plan, it's probably a $75 card. Superior, Kyurem, these cards are probably in the ballpark of where they're going to be. I mean, they could drop $10, $15, whatever. But ultimately, when I did this initially, I basically take 2x the top 5 cards and say, you know what? The rest of the set I'm going to assume is worth 0 because these cards are going to come down. The rest of the value of the set's going to offset that. And I've been pretty damn close on that using that concept. So that being said, we're at $1,537 now. I think that number is probably going to end up in the $1,100, $1,200 range. Right now, the set value is $3,300. Obviously, that's going to come down significantly. But, if it comes down to $1,500 for for that matter, I have a hard time believing the ETBs are going to trade much lower than where they are now. We're going to have a second wave that comes out. It's not going to be a fucking reprint. So, all those jerk offs are like, oh, it's getting reprinted. It's not getting reprinted. It's a second wave. It happens the same way every single time. We're probably going to get that in 2 months, depending on where the boxes are. By the way, I noticed there were only 400 or 500 of each ETB that sold yesterday. Again, super light, not dissimilar to what we've seen for Destined. So I'm guessing a lot of sales of this went through direct store channels as opposed to kind of being crowdsourced, dumped on TCG Player. So that it'll be interesting to watch and see what the sell-through rate is there. But again, right now Black Bolt, screw this one up. Black Bolt's at $93. White Flare's at $90. Here's your set EVs again. They're inflated 2.8%. It's you're closer to prismatic than you are the average. But again, these set values, they're going to get haircut here. But my point being is, it's not like the set value is $1,200 at release and it's going to get slashed from there. The value of the cards in the set is going to be there to support a card price. Any of you Timmies out there that think this is going to MSRP, you should probably sell your collection now and go buy non-collectible cards. Go learn Pinochle, Uno, someplace where you can't stab yourself in the face, because there's zero chance this set ever goes to MSRP. White Flare, Reshiram, 480. It's interesting because the White Flare cards are carrying a little bit of a premium over Black Bolt, which is a little surprising to me. I'm sure it's going to all change and revert to somewhat normal, because I would have anticipated White Flare to have a slight discount to Black Bolt. I'm sure they tried to balance the two sets so one was not significantly more sought after than the other. But again, Reshiram, same as Zekrom. I think it ends up being like a $325 card. Victini, again, it feels like this is probably double where it's going to end up. $225, $250. Again, depending on the pull rate. I don't know what the pull rates are of this card. I also don't know what the pull rates are on the all black, on the all white, which could change things fairly significantly. But there are more than 10 copies on TCG Player the day after release. So the pull rate's not impossible. It's not like 3,000 to 1. At least I'm fairly confident it's not. Again, I don't know for sure. So, I think these are going to come down. Reshiram EX again. At $200, that's probably where it should be for the SIR. In fact, it's probably $299. Double check, but again, it's probably $200 card. Hilda 81. It's probably a $50, $60 card. Again, the United States hates trainers. They just do. Hydreigon at 130. Everybody loves the card from Surging. It's probably a $100 card, but it's not super overvalued. Keldo, whatever. We'll see. But again, just the top 6 cards right now are worth $1,500. The total set value is $3,200. So even if the set value gets cut in half to what we're looking at here, the value of the cards in the set supports an ETB, and quite honestly, a pack price in excess of $10 a pack, which has been the same story for every single one of these specialty sets since 151. Shortly after release, except for Shrouded Fable. So the values here. Now, the set's not super deep. There are a lot of cards that are between $20 and $35 right now. I'm just kind of discounting those because, quite honestly, they're going to end up being $15, $20 cards, and we'll see what happens. I think if Pokemon ends up printing the crap out of this set, they're probably making a little bit of a mistake. I'm not sure that the demand is the demand is certainly not nearly as crazy as Prismatic or Destined. It's certainly not as heavy as what it was for Journey Together, not because of the set, just because of the timing on when Journey Together came out. But this is going to be super interesting because it's not all hype. And this is the first set that we've had in a couple sets now that just hasn't been all hype. And again, Journey Together was absolute monster hype because it was right at the top. And again, the hype keeps growing, but when it came out, it was at the top of the hype at that point in time. So, again, the singles are going to come down. The value of the cards in the set's probably going to be somewhere over $1,500. And, I just have a hard time seeing the price of the ETBs go down significantly. If the ETBs go down to $80 or sub $80, it is an absolute steal for the set. Now, when a second wave comes out, we'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the overall pricing here, especially, since it's 2 different SKUs. Do the 2 sets get out of whack? Do they not? Is there a favorite with Rip and Shippers? If Rip and Shippers are blowing through Black Bolt, but not using White Flare, that's going to create a pretty significant imbalance in the 2 sets. So it's going to be super fascinating. So anyway, guys, just wanted to update this since we're now the day after release. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. We are going to be having Mega Evolution sale. We are anticipating a pretty positive allocation, in spite of what some of the whiny Twitter and Instagram accounts are saying. Everything's looking fairly positive. So, all right, guys, enjoy your Saturday. Talk soon.